everybody. Welcome to another sensational session of Strike a Chord Live podcast with my dear brother, Collin Harbour. He's right there in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. I'm Marcus Ellis. I'm here in Pensacola, Florida. Collin, why don't you tell him who we are?
We are two lifelong friends with a love of baseball, music, motivation, and inspiration mixed with a little bit of nostalgia, culture, transformation, and fun. And we want you to take the journey with us.
This is Strike a Chord Live podcast. Well, at least we got that part going right.
Today is the day of the red shirts. You know what I've never noticed about the logo or the cover, whatever.
Yeah, what?
That there's a little baseball in it on the ground. That there's an actual baseball in it.
Yeah. The guy hits the baseball with the guitar.
I mean, I've never seen the baseball. Yeah.
Yeah. See it bounce right there.
Yeah, there's a baseball there. I just never knew it.
Yeah, I did that with my handiwork.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good. That's not bad at all. What's going on in your world today?
Well, I mean, yesterday was 4th of July. You know, I'm sure all of us spent time with our family and friends, and you know, I don't drink anymore, so I didn't have that issue. But we were definitely up late shooting fireworks, so I'm a little tired. But that's just an excuse not to persevere and go grab that brass ring, right? What about you guys?
Yeah, there were a couple of different neighborhood parties yesterday. I had a couple of beers. Yeah, I'm not, real young anymore and don't really care about all that kind of stuff. Plus, have to get up early today, right? I have to get up early to do stuff. But one of the parties we went to, I guess the family has a wide range of ages of their children, kind of like you. And the crowd was more on the younger end of it, where my daughter's kind of friends with the older one. Anyway, all that to say, there was all these young families there, and I think one of them was staring at me, trying to figure out whose granddad I was. Like, they were looking at me like, what is this guy doing here? What is this old guy doing here? And so, I think I'm getting old.
Well, that's, I mean, yes, everybody's getting old. But yeah, I see you guys there. Good morning, fellas. I'm sure it's Ryan Gallagher or somebody, but we can't tell who you are because it's Facebook user. But let's get into the meat of this, because I know we, as entrepreneurs, we got a lot going on today. And the topic today is the freedom and the benefits that entrepreneurship allows us, but there's also a lot of pitfalls. And I know that there's things that I do or don't do because I'm not working for somebody else that could be challenging. But we also want to acknowledge everybody. Ryan Little, what's up, bro? Good to see you. All you got to do, Ryan, so I know it's you, is just simply give StreamYard permission to use your name in the thing. But love you, bro. Good to see you. But yeah, we also want to thank each and every one of you that are watching on the hashtag replay, as the kids call it, listening on the hashtag replay, because we're all over on Strike a Chord Live podcast. We love you. Thank you so much. Let's go. So let's talk about the benefits, Collin. I mean, you haven't worked for somebody in a long time. You've been working for yourself for a while, right?
Yeah. So yeah, for 4 years, I've been working from home for almost 8 years. 8 years now. No, wow. 6 years. Sorry. I'm not a mathematician. 6 years. And, but part of that was working for another company. But yeah, I've been working for myself for a little bit over 3 years. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the reason we're doing this is we want to encourage you, if you have a business you want to start or an idea, how to get out of the W-2 working for the man. We want to encourage you to do that. I mean, Ryan Little that just commented there, he and his wife have an incredible landscaping and construction company. They're working for themselves. So Collin, let's do the easy part first. Let's talk about the benefits of entrepreneurship, so that if somebody is like sitting on the edge, of jumping out of the airplane to work for themselves, and they're like, I just don't know if I can do this. First of all, you can. And then secondly, how is it positive in your life that you work for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, there's just there is a different level of stress. There's no doubt about it. Maybe we'll talk about that and some of the
Yeah.
pitfalls. But, I guess the main benefit is you don't hate your boss, right? You can't hate your boss if you work for yourself. So
Unless like
unless you've
yourself.
got clients that are annoying and you hate them, but you don't want to let anybody know, right? So I think the other thing is just and a lot of it depends on your own personality, right? Your
Ooh,
own what you want to achieve, but you're creating something, right? You're creating something that's not necessarily just working for, say, PepsiCo or
right.
Coca-Cola, not to single one out, some major conglomerate international corporation, which that's okay too. A lot of people like that, right? A lot of people like that. But I mean, for me, the benefit, it was this freedom, and it's hard to describe the freedom because there are a lot of pitfalls too that come along with it. It's not all peaches and cream, as they say.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of people say, I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to sleep in. You know, that's not how it works. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's
I
not. I
definitely
mean,
go ahead.
no, I was going to say now you do have some flexibility to do things that you want, but if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, a lot of times it's built around what your customers need, what your clients need. How are you going to get more customers? But I'll give you an example. A couple years ago when I went into business for myself, or
Right.
with a partner on one business, but then my consulting businesses during the day sometimes. If I wanted to go up to, there's a place called Nick's Card Shop a couple of miles from me and just look at old baseball cards that they like, you know, I don't collect anymore. I went through that rephase during COVID when there was nothing
Right.
to do. But the point is, you do have freedom to sometimes just say, you know what, I'm gonna go up there and check some things out for a few minutes. Take a
Right.
break.
Well, and for me, that's where the pitfalls come in because we all have things to do around the house and things like that, and I'll do the ADHD thing. Oh, look, a squirrel! The dishes need to be done, or the laundry needs to be folded, or something like that. And so the one of the easiest pitfalls to shine a light on is that there are distractions, distractions at home and things like that. A benefit for me is that I don't have to answer to anybody that I don't respect. And I think I can say without being egotistical that both you and I are alphas in our world. What we do, we're leaders, we're contributors, that sort of thing. And I think you've experienced this in your business life when somebody, a superior had an idea, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's really bad, and that's not going to work, and that's leading us toward destruction. And you can't really say that. And then when the train does crash, then then you can't point it out to that person, which I did. I would always point out my superior's faults, and that never went over well.
Yeah, that doesn't go over well, right? So, again, the benefit of that is from the entrepreneurial set is you don't have to go down a path you don't want to, right? No one can make you. As I used to say, it's not Russia. They can't make you, right? No one can make you go down this path of um self-destruction, right?
Right.
Or just misery of doing a project that you don't want to. Now, again, there are clients, there are, openings, opportunities with the business to make money, to grow that sometimes you weren't planning on, right? Or that you didn't see. So, there are some things that it's not just all peaches and cream again. But yeah, you don't have to a boss that's yelling at you, right? Or whatever.
Right, or breathing down your neck or looking over your shoulder. But one of the major benefits for me is that I can take my daughters to and from school, and I know you do that as well. One of the major benefits is that we get to spend more time with our family. However, I find it a lot of times I'm around my family and I'm working, and they're like, "Dad, put down your phone," and I'm like, "But I'm working, right? I'm not just like playing around." So but we get the benefits are that we get to be around our family more, by working from home or having our business.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think my youngest daughter's a little bit confused on the traditional work model,
good, good,
traditional, like you go somewhere to work because, again, for 6, however many years, again, I said 5 years, 6 years, I've been working from home. Well, that's more than half of her life that I've been
right.
working from home. And then at least half of that, I've been in business for myself. As a matter of fact, just even 2 weeks ago, she was like, "Well, what do you do, Dad? What do you do?" Lily said, "What do you do?" So I started talking to her about it, and she goes, "Well, what does that mean?" So I started trying. She's like, "Never mind." And she just walked off. She threw in the towel. So, but
That
there is this
reminds me of that
confusion.
scene, Santa Claus, with Tim Allen, where the
What?
kid. That reminds me of the scene in the Santa Claus where the kid brings Tim, Santa to. He's like, "What do you do?" He's like, "I'm Santa."
Well, and lately I have a client now that I go up to their office quite a bit, and Lily's like, What do you?" Again, it's just this confusion of why are you going into the office? I thought you worked for yourself and work from home. And then there's a scenario over the next couple of weeks where I'm probably going to be working from home a little bit more again, which is what I like. And Gina, my wife, I said, "Hey, you get to see me a lot more." She was like, I'm like, she was just getting used to me kind of going into the client's office. So, there is a different dynamic, but you're right. I got to take Lily to school a lot, and I didn't do that with Audrey because with my older daughter, when she was this age, I was working somewhere else, right?
Yeah,
And I was going in, I was traveling a lot. So I was going to airports or I was going up to the office kind of to be the first person there, to kind of be there early.
right. No, I get that. That there are so many wonderful. I'm trying to use a different word than benefits, but I'll just use it. Benefits to working for yourself. But let's talk about some of the pitfalls. I'll just ask you. To you, what do you think the hardest thing is for you to deal with or navigate in entrepreneurship? Right. What is your biggest pitfall?
Well, I think it's just the limited resources thing. I mean, again, to use the example of if you're
Come
if
on.
you're working for Coca-Cola or PepsiCo, not to pick on them, but major corporations, they have essentially unlimited resources,
Right.
right? Pick a major corporation, Amazon, Facebook, they have unlimited resources.
That's a really good point because you don't think about it. You have to buy your printer and your printer paper and your ink and your envelopes and all of those things. You have costs involved, right? Not to mention your home office.
Well, not your
But
home office, but you're also then trying to pay bills. So you're trying to bring in revenue. You're trying to bring in revenue. And so the pitfall to me is sometimes there's limited resources and sometimes it causes a lot of stress. And sometimes things are really good, more than likely. And then sometimes things are really bad when you're working for
right.
yourself. And when it's
Yeah, the
bad,
hardest. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean
I
to
was just
interrupt
say
you.
when it's bad, unless you have a big stack in the bank, it's bad, right? You got to cut stuff. You got to kind of, and I get that that's life. That's people will say, well, that's just life, Colin. But we're talking about it in the entrepreneurial set, right?
Right. Well, you really struck a chord with me with what you just said there, because I was going to say the hardest thing for me to get used to is the steady income. And because the hardest thing to get is not the steady income because we're used to being on the dole and getting it every 2 weeks or every week or whatever from a traditional W-2. And in entrepreneurship, at least in real estate business, it's not every day that you get a paycheck, right? And so I've had to learn how to not stress over that, not necessarily manage the money because the money was managed well, but just, oh my gosh, I don't have anything in the pipeline. I'm going to freak out. But then you struck a chord with me by saying a big stack of cash in the bank. Another pitfall is when you land a big deal, I can take a break for a second, baby. Don't do that. don't. There's never time to take your foot off the gas, right?
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, it might be okay to take a break for one day, but
Yeah,
don't take this just kind of break, right?
yeah. I've
Yeah.
got
I
all
mean,
this money sitting here. I don't have to worry about it. You know.
I think particularly in your business, if a deal closes, yeah, you could have a big payday, right?
Yeah.
Speak. And if that happens, yeah, it's probably easy to go, all right, now I'm going to wash the dishes. Now I'm going
Right.
to work on that project out back, and I'm going to go build a shed or whatever. But it's like, I get all that stuff, but yeah, the pipeline development, there's nothing more important probably for an entrepreneur than pipeline development.
Yeah, the funnel or whatever you call it. But you
The
did bring up
funnel,
another good point.
pipeline, yeah.
Yeah. But you did bring up another good point that this the benefit is that when you do land, a big fish, that you do have the ability to go take care of some of those personal tasks during the week and not like other people just on the weekend. Is my hat crooked?
No, it's mine. I don't know. I keep moving it, and no, your hat's fine.
But and the other thing is when you do land a big deal, the thing is that life goes on though, and that money's not just going to sit there. You're having to live off of it. You're having to market to get more business, right? So you're spending that money. So a lot of my real estate coaches in the past said, when you land that big deal, don't go out and get a Toyota Tundra. I wouldn't, but don't go buy don't go do something crazy, with it. You need to reinvest that money into your business. So I think a lot of new entrepreneurs or a lot of green entrepreneurs make that mistake. Oh man, I just got a big chunk of money. I'm going to go blow it on something that I've never had the opportunity to blow it on, when really you should be reinvesting that money back into the business.
Yeah, no doubt. And a lot of the entrepreneurship, we talk about this day of the age of solopreneurship. And I've been reading a lot of articles. They pop up on my LinkedIn feed, I think, of CNBC articles of like, this person's 29 and they had a side hustle and now make $35,000 per month. And I read every one of them. I'm a sucker for those articles because I don't like, it's not like clickbait for me. It's not like, oh, how can I love reading the stories, about some guy that was, working at an IT job, and he's like, oh, well, I want to do this thing on the side. And then all of a sudden he's making 50,000 per month in that job. He's like, screw it. Pardon me, but I'm quitting this job and I'm going to go be a solopreneur. And those are all, every one of them is a great story. Every one of them is a great story. But again, those people come up with systems and methods, and then, they can quit their job. So the benefit is they can quit their job, but the pitfall is you got to keep that revenue coming in if you quit your job. Right.
Right. And so what is the takeaway from that? What do you have to do to keep that going?
Well, you can't stop. I mean, it's what we've talked about, right? It's not that you can't relax. It's not that you can't take a vacation. It's not that you can't cut out early one day, whatever that looks like, go play golf, go fishing, go surfing, go do whatever. But again, it's about staying focused, coming up with new ideas. What do you want to focus on now? Is there another area of business you want to grow in? Can you do something else to make money? Right. I love it. I love the sort of hunter-gatherer type mentality of business,
Yeah, I agree. Well, let me ask you this, because I know of a lot of entrepreneurs who say, be careful of this. But have you ever in your business, I haven't yet, but have you reached burnout?
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So, I've got a consulting business, which is just me individually, literally providing services to a couple of different clients. One of them, maybe not for much longer, but so I'm trying to find more consulting clients. But on the other business that I'm a partner in, it's a daily grind. We're vendor management. We've got people doing lawns and pools and other services all over the country. And it's a daily grind. People ghost you, they leave, you're trying to find new vendors, you're trying to keep employees happy, you're trying to keep your partner happy, you're trying to keep everybody at home happy. So it's this grind, but there's no doubt that there is burnout on the daily grind.
Well, you remember Mark Anderson, Kevin Anderson's brother?
Yeah, I do.
He just commented. He said, I've been running my business for 16 years. It's a weekly struggle. You have to stay focused and determined. Man, love you, Mark. Good to see. I miss seeing. I would run past his house every morning, but I moved, so I miss seeing him. But that's a great comment,
Yeah, so it just says Facebook user for me, so I can't
I
see
had
it.
to
But
go
yeah,
on. I had to go onto my Facebook to look at
I remember the Andersons, both
it.
of them.
Yeah, but you were talking about burnout. I mean, you can grind yourself into the ground, and I don't think I've reached that yet. I haven't experienced that yet, but I can see how grinding too hard could put you into a burnout phase, and then you're in trouble because even though you want to move, I don't think you can physically move, right?
Yeah, you broke up a little bit
Can
for
you hear?
me, so I don't know if you did for the crowd, so I'm not sure exactly.
I just said I hadn't reached burnout yet, but you just have to be aware of that. Because if you're grinding too hard, you're going to
Yeah,
burn
but
out.
you do other stuff too. You've got your rock band, right? You've got,
Yeah,
obviously some family, you do family stuff, you do exercise, so you're doing things on the side, which by the way, that's why I suggest, a hobby. Like I talked about the baseball cards that I started doing again, and I love getting into the cards and actually got into some other stuff there. But my business partner on this other business, his wife several years ago told him, you need a hobby, right? You're working to it. This was actually before he went into business for himself, but it's like you need a hobby. And he created an app, Jeeper, Jepr, for
right.
aftermarket Jeep parts, right? So he's got this app as kind of his hobby because he loves Jeeps. And so he created this app. And but the bigger point there is you've got to have something on the side, right? Or you got to have something else besides just work,
Yeah,
particularly
man.
if you're
So did that app take off to where that's like his main thing, or is it still just a little fun
no,
thing?
I think it's good. I think there's a lot of users. I think
Right.
he's gone to, different conferences and trade shows related to it. I don't know much of the details because it's his business, but I think it does well or it does all right. But
That's
the
such a
point
cool
is you
thing.
find something that you develop and it doesn't have to be a business. Again, it could be sports cards, it could be a rock band, it could be whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah, but that's so cool that I mean that's such a great story because not that it's happened, but it could happen that guy, his wife told him, you need a hobby. He started that thing as a hobby, and that could be a whole nother business. That's really
Yeah.
cool. And White Tie Rock Ensemble is a business. We're a thriving business, even though that's something we do to feed our souls. It does make us money. So here's another pitfall. I didn't feel this way, and I don't think you did, but a lot of entrepreneurs think it's going to be easy. Think entrepreneurship is going to be easy. I think that's a big no-no right there.
Yeah,
Because it's
they see, let's say, and I know a lot of people don't like some of these names, but like you see Elon Musk. I mean, or ultimately he's an entrepreneur, right? And has been involved in a couple of things. But I've been, I listen to podcasts all the time, right? And I was listening to a podcast talking about the beginning of Tesla, or the acquisition of Tesla. I mean, he was out of money. He was out of money that he made from whatever, selling PayPal
PayPal.
stock or whatever he had, and he was out of money. Like, had burned through a lot of money and had to go raise money, and the business could have gone under. But yeah, even that's not easy, right? It's not
Yeah,
easy. It's not
no.
easy at all.
No, well, we have to do that in our business. My partner Ryan Gallagher, we have to go out and find what we call OPM, other people's money, right? And it's easy and it's not. I mean, really, you just have to have the intestinal fortitude, the confidence to ask, because there's so many people out there that need to invest their money places. And so that's a pretty cool story on Elon Musk. So, folks, it's not going to be easy, but I was going to say you have to work hard, but you cannot work nonstop. You can't just burn the candle at both ends without a proper work-life balance. So, pitfalls are burnout. Takeaway is you need a balanced life, like Collin said, hobbies and family time and things like that. But then please don't think that starting and running a business on your own is going to be easy. It's going to be the most difficult thing you ever did, but the takeaway to that is going to be the most rewarding thing, right, Collin?
Yeah, no doubt. I agree.
Well, here's the other thing. Here's another thing that I think people make a mistake of become an entrepreneur, just going into business for themselves solely to make money. If that is your target, you're going to miss that target. Your reason for going into entrepreneurship should be to provide a solution for someone else and to feed your family. You're providing solutions for your clients. I'm providing solutions for my home sellers. And by the way, if you have a house that you're having trouble selling, or you have one in distressed property, you inherited one, you're going through divorce, whatever's going on, my partner Ryan Gallagher and I will buy your house. So get in touch with me here on Facebook. We'll help you. But that's the thing, is that we have to have a service mindset in entrepreneurship, or else we're going to fail, right? Are you reading the comment?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was reading the last quote. What did you say?
I said, are you reading the comment?
Yeah, I was reading the comment. I can't read and listen at the same time. I'm not, too old for that kind of stuff.
But yeah, please don't focus your entire business on money, right, Collin?
Right. Ultimately it's about what are you taking care of, who you're taking care of, what do you want to, achieving goals and things like that. The money is nice if it comes in, right? I mean, I heard somebody the other day say money doesn't buy happiness, but it gives you security, right? And it's the same concept in business, right? Cash or revenue may not make you happy, but it does give you security. It does give you something to work with, right? To build the business. It does give you cash flow, which should be self-explanatory, right? It gives you that cash that needed.
I tell you what, it's a lot easier to run a business with money than without.
Yeah. Just like it's easier to pay, just like you can pay your mortgage or your cell phone bill, or I don't know, groceries with cash a little bit easier than without, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. So, yeah.
Well, I know we're coming into closing, but let's talk about one more pitfall, and that's giving up too soon, right? I'm gonna give you. And now we're doing the freezing thing. Okay, she's still here, but he's a Texan, and his name was Ross Perot. Ross Perot said, most people give up just when they're about to achieve success. They quit on the 1 yard line. They give up at the last minute of the game, 1 foot from winning a touchdown. How was that, Ross Perot?
That was actually pretty good. I didn't know you had it in you. That was very impressive.
But the thing is that most people stop. Most people quit when success is just around the corner. So as hard as what's the benefit of quitting, Collin? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, that's not to say if something's not working, maybe you need to shut the doors down and go in a different direction. But just to throw in the towel just because you don't want to give it a little bit, a little bit harder try. And it's the old 3 feet from gold concept, right? The Napoleon Hill book, I believe, about the miners, the gold miners who used to go out and they were going to, buy, become rich off gold and all this, but it was hard work. So they'd give up and they'd go sell all their equipment to the guys who knew they're almost there. They're almost there. So all they do is buy this equipment, get down there to all the work they've done. And these guys were 3 feet from striking it rich, literally 3 feet. Now, 3 feet of hard work. Don't get me wrong, right? It was not going to be easy, but 3 feet from goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great story. And then those guys gave up. I mean, I think they might have tried a couple of times in that story, but they really gave up at the first sign of difficulty. So there are going to be difficult times in your entrepreneurial journey. There are going to be pitfalls. So in order to build a successful business, golly, it takes a lot of time and effort. It takes money. So you got to be prepared for the challenges. And I don't know if I was fully prepared for them because in my first year, it was quite scary. The camera thing backwards thing really messes with me. But it was scary at first. But then all of a sudden, as things started to progress, I was able to take a deep breath and go, oh, okay, I can do this. So in our closing moments, what are our takeaways? Never give up. Don't work too hard without a work-life balance. You have to have a balance in that life. Know that there's going to be speed bumps. right? What are some of the other ones, Collin?
Well, those are the main ones. You don't get to take all the easy ones and then tell me to come up with other takeaways. You like pick the good ones and you're like, Collin, come up with some more. These are the main ones, but you come up with some obscure takeaways on the spot. Okay.
Well, here's one that we haven't addressed, and we'll close on this.
I think the ones you came up with are good.
But here's the key takeaway. You have to have faith. You have to pray about your business. You have to have faith in God, faith in yourself that you're going to succeed, provide solutions for other people on this planet and your family. How about that, Collin?
Those are great. See, you were holding them. You were holding them in your hand.
In my head. All right. You have anything else for the fine people before we go?
No, that's good. That's good.
Hey, we thank you all so much for listening and watching on this July 5th, 2023. We know we're all tired. We had fun with the fireworks and the cookouts and all that stuff. But today you are going to win. You can do anything you set your mind to. Persevere. If you want to start that business, Collin, they got to start that business today. Put an action plan together, put it into action, and let's go succeed together, right?
Start it as a side hustle if you can. Start it as a side hustle. You don't even have to quit your job. Go to CNBC and read all the success stories. They're great.
There's the takeaway. Well, thank y'all so much. We love you. We will see you here on Friday with another sensational session of Strike a Chord Live podcast. Peace and chicken grease. We're out.